Hi guys, welcome back to Victory Gardens by Rain. I am Rain and I am here today at my friend Vicky's house, and we're going to transform this garden from the soil up. Vicki and I have been talking for about a year about this garden, and we've kind of we went through some troubleshooting about some things last year, but this year we're partnering together and we're really going to start building her soil health. I'm always so taken aback by how God just designs food. You know, like everyone thinks flowers and plants are pretty, but food is gorgeous. And if I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna look at it and it's gonna be pretty. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I have flowers and herbs everywhere, because I want joy. And because this is a place where you work hard, and if it's fun and you love it and you're spending time in it, and this is a place of worship for me, it's not hard work and it takes it all out. And so I think pretty food adds to that. So Vicki moved into this home a few years ago, and she kind of inherited this garden. It's a very beautiful cottage garden. We've got hellebores in here. We've got hydrangeas. We've got butterfly bushes and just really neat, beautiful plants. But she approached me because her health of these plants have just very quickly declined. So when she moved in, they were very pretty. They grew very well. And then it was just like all of a sudden they quit doing anything. She would plant plants, and then like even through my advice would go through and get some things, and it just wouldn't work, and nothing would grow in these spaces outside of what's already here. So I gave her some advice to get a soil test done with the extension agency. And what you do when you do a soil test is you just kind of pull from different sections of the entire garden. You put it in a bag and you drop it off at your local extension agency, and then they will take it to their lab and they will test it to see what it is. So when she did her soil test, it came back that it was very low in potassium and phosphorus. So when you have your NPK on your fertilizer, you got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. That's the NPK. So when I noticed when she got her test back that the calcium levels were just crazy high, and the potassium and phosphate was very, very low. Well, this happens when there's no nutrition being fed back into the soil. So Vicki was sharing with me that she was using some outdated practices with stewarding this garden. And so we have got together and we have come up with a plan to be able to reinvest into this soil by giving it nutrient back. So when you have low potassium and low phosphorus, that really just means that you're lacking organic matter. And there's intentional things that we're going to do to add to this soil to bring it back to life. With the products that we got, we went to our local box store, and my car is completely filled up with, we've got some granular fertilizers, some liquid fertilizers, and then we have mulch. So one of the things that we are going to change in her garden is she mulched with some pine straw, and that's okay, but when we're in a growing space, we want to make sure that we use mulch, like wood chips, actual organic matter that's breaking down. We are located in Georgia, southeast of Atlanta, and over here we have nothing but red clay and like zero organic matter, no topsoil whatsoever. So when you're in a spot like this, and you're coming into a new build and sod and different things like that, there generally is no topsoil. So you the garden that was established here was new, and it had a certain amount of nutrition in the soil when it was planted, but because of not knowing how to nurture the soil previously with the previous owners, Vicki came in and just kind of inherited a starving garden. So we're going to spend today feeding the garden. We're going to spend today building the soil, and I'm going to bring you guys along with that. And I'm really excited to kind of take you through with this process, because a lot of people think that they are bad gardeners, but really what's happening is their soil is nutrient deficient. And nutrient deficient soil is extremely dangerous when you're trying to use your resources and create a space that's beautiful, because if the soil is not healthy, you can put a healthy plant in soil and it's going to use up all the nutrition that it has and then essentially starve to death. And so that's what we're doing today. We're just going to really work on building that soil. So I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Vicki. This is her. Everybody say hey.
Hello.
So Vicki, how long have you lived here?
We've been here 4 years.
4 years. And so the last 2 years it's been kind of sad?
It's been decreasingly productive. I would say when I first worked the garden and 4 years ago, things were vibrant, and especially last year, it was very disappointing. There was, the roses didn't bloom hardly at all. It was just, I could tell something was wrong.
Yeah. So what you said something in the car earlier that I thought was very apt to what the application was for here. But you said that it's like you're eating what? Like we're feeding it what?
I'm taking vitamins and eating candy bars all day.
Yes. So with Vicki, she was feeding with Miracle-Gro and was putting in different fertilizers and things like that, which she knew to be true. And generally that's what you would do to try to feed this, feed your plants and feed the soil. But when you got the soil test back, we realized that there was a completely different picture that we didn't know was going on, right? So I'd already explained to them that we're going to be adding back organic matter, and that we went and got some organic fertilizers to start amending your soil. So that's our plan for today, and we're going to get dirty and we're going to have lots of fun.
I'm excited because I am tired of throwing money at with plants that aren't going to thrive.
Right, and that is frustrating. And she even told me earlier today that and even my wisdom would go out and get things, and she was following directions that she was told and would have very disappointing results. So, but now we know that it's a soil issue. And so we're going to start from the soil up this season. I'm super excited. Today is February the 4th. So we're out here building this soil. We're starting our season very early so that we can get lots of nutrition in the soil. And then we're going to redesign and create a space out here that she is going to, did you say you wanted it to be your secret garden?
I want a cottage garden effect, but it's a prayer garden, a secret garden.
A prayer garden. Oh,
yes.
I love that so much. Of course it's a prayer garden with you. I
Yes.
love that so much. And so we're going to create that space for you this year. So we're going to be walking alongside of Vicki throughout the year, doing different fun things, and hopefully lots of planting projects and all that stuff. So, but today we're working on the soil. So you guys follow along and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because we want to see the whole journey, to see this sweet garden come out of dormancy and get fed and reconnect with the creation. So it's gonna be fun. So what's that say?
There is a healing in a garden where one longs for peace and pardon. Once inside the gate, no need to wait. God is in the garden.
Oh, I love that so
This
much.
was here when we moved here.
Oh, look what God did for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a before shot before we got to working, and I just wanted to show you, those are little hellebore plants. That is a gardenia bush, I think. But the soil here is very compacted, and there's a lot of pine needles and things down back there. That greenery that you see is columbine seedlings, so we're going to try to preserve that. And then we're going to clean this out right here so she can have some annuals. Those pots have annuals in it too. And then right here, this is just us cleaning it out. So the first step that I do whenever I go in and I'm doing a soil restoration project is I want to clean off the debris that's on top of the soil so that I see what has broken down and can add to the soil. Another thing that I'm looking for in this process is to see if there's any mycorrhizae, bacteria, any kind of life when I move this debris, to see that gives me an indication of what type of soil activity and what kind of soil life is in there. As I get down in these places and I'm weeding all of this Bermuda grass out of here, I am starting to see a little bit of life in this soil, which is encouraging because it gives me a idea of the soil indications, meaning that this plant thrives here. So if that plant thrives there, I can look at the conditions of the hellebore and know that it's receiving what it gets from the soil, if that makes any sense. So again, we're looking through here. I'm cleaning it up. This is a view of the side that we cleaned up. Whew. All right, so we have cleared out the entire, left side?
I believe
Well,
so.
and you did a lot of work behind us too.
I've done some. It's not complete.
Okay, so we're going to take some time from clearing out and we're going to put the amendments in the soil. How do you feel about what we've done so far?
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Did you like your surprise pruning lesson?
Yes, I can't wait till that thing blooms this year.
We kind of got a little distracted and we pruned this hydrangea. So that's cool. So what did you learn about pruning?
Just about everything. Because I learned that I have been doing all the wrong branches. So yeah.
It's going to be very pretty. So we cleaned out what's going on, and so we're fixing to add the amendments. But while we were working together, we just took some time because it's February and we live in Georgia, and Georgia has 2 more winters and 2 more springs to go through before we actually have an active growing season, which is really long. Did you know that our growing season is like 226 days?
Did not. Wow.
Out of 365.
Wow.
That's crazy. It's actually getting to where it's longer than that. That might be a different stat right now, but we have a massive time of growing, which is exciting. Anyway, so we decided we're going to pause where we're at. We're going to add the amendments, and then we're going to put the mulch down so that she can kind of get an idea of what it looks like. So that's where we're at, and then we're going to do that now. Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
This is your peony you got, or your peonies.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Burhart. That's going to be really pretty. So I have to dig around for the fertilizer because our cart is filled with the mulch. I got rose cone, fish fertilizer, soil acidifier, bone meal. Oh girl, it's like way out here.
Is it?
More plant tone because she just had a little bit. All right, so we went to the big box store and we got our amendments. She's got this cute little cart. I think I may have to get me one of these. We've got garden tone that we're gonna put out to amend. We've got some biotone starter fertilizer, and the reason why I'm putting this out is because a lot of this stuff is actively growing. We've got some Lenten Rose right there that's actively growing. We've got the thrift and just different things. So we're gonna sprinkle the starter fertilizer around those things. But also, I wanted to introduce the mycorrhizae fungi here that is in this, starter plant food. We're going to use the rest of her plant tone right here too, but we also picked up some things. So let's talk about that. Anyway, okay, so the goal with all of this looks like a lot of product.
It does.
So if you don't mind, what did you spend on the fertilizer? Do you know?
I'm not sure. The mulch and the fertilizer together was 161.
Okay, 106. That's not bad.
Right.
For that much
I felt
mulch.
good about it.
We got 20 bags of mulch. And then this right here. So this is product that she had, and then some of it we bought to get started. So the whole point of today is to amend the soil and bring life back to the soil, and we're going to use it doing these things. So the first thing that we're going to do is Vicki's going to go through and she's going to water the area really well. And by watering well, I mean you're going to drain it until it like drown it until it puddles, and then after it sinks down, we're going to put this product on. So we're going to start with putting the garden tone and the plant tone around the plants that are already established. So plant tone, garden tone is going around the plants that are fixing to come out of dormancy. The biotone starter fertilizer is going around the plants that are actively growing right now. And then whatever's left in the bag, we're just going to kind of sprinkle around in areas that you might feel frisky and want to plant in soon. Okay? And then we're going to take the rose tone, and she's got 1, 2, 4, 5 roses. 5 roses.
4, I believe.
You got the little baby over there. Do you want to love on her?
We can love on her.
Okay. So we got roses that we're going to do this, and I'll show you, I'll bring you guys along for the application process on all of these. But we're going to do rose tone because they are coming out of dormancy right now as well. Now, to amend her soil, we're going to use these things. This is the same thing. I got 2 of them. This is soil acidifier. This is in addition to the compost. We're going to add this over on her hydrangeas on that side. Actually, we could put it here and here too. Do you want them? You don't want them change colors?
No, they're fine.
Okay, just up here on the front. Okay, so that's where these are going. Now, this is bone meal. Bone meal is an organic source of phosphorus. So when we did her soil test, she was deficient in phosphorus and, why am I brain freezing? Phosphorus, and
we had too much calcium.
We had too much calcium, but really it just means when you are on a when you read a soil test and it has calcium off the charts with the other 2, phosphorus and potassium, that's what I was trying to think of. Phosphorus and potassium, if they're super low, then that means that the readily available organic matter in the soil isn't there. So calcium being high isn't necessarily the problem. It's the fact that we're missing these other 2 nutrients to work together, because they're all family. They all everybody works better together. So we're going to sub out the phosphorus with this bone meal. I've got 2 bags because we're going to treat the entire area. And then we're going to come back through, and she's actually going to hand water with the watering can that we have, using this fish fertilizer over the entire area. Now, why would I want you to do that?
I do not know.
Okay, that sounds a little weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But fish fertilizer is actually what we're going to use to feed the microbiology in your soil. So this isn't even really to fertilize your plants. So right now, when we're doing soil rehab, we're working on the microbiology in the soil structure, and we're working on providing the available nutrients to be there. Now, God already put a system together that works perfectly, actually, period, end of sentence. And so what we're doing here is we're mimicking the forest floor. So we want to make sure that when we're putting these products, I'm not just willy-nilly throwing out products for no reason. You know, we purchase these products on purpose to fit the needs of the plants where she has placed them. And so in order to amend soil completely, appropriately, you need to understand the needs of your plant, and you need to understand the condition of your soil, and then the goal you have for that soil. So the goal that we have for this soil is, in February, is we are not here to fertilize plants that are not growing. We are here developing a live, active microbiology microbiome in the soil. And so that's what we're doing. So it seems a little weird that we're out here putting all of this product in the soil, but where we are, what zone we're in, we're zone 8A, that things are fixing to come out of dormancy, but we have got to build micro what am I trying to say? Microbiome. Lord have mercy. We're here trying to build a microbiome, okay? And when we develop that fungi relationship that's going to come with the nutrients that we're putting back in the soil is going to feed this microbiology. And then by watering it really well, it makes them super happy. And then we're going to put mulch on top, which is going to activate the mycorrhizae fungi that's in there. That's the telephone. So the mycorrhizae fungi is the telephone cord that's going to connect the soil to the roots, and that's what we're missing. And I showed you a little piece of soil earlier that had the mycorrhizae. So you've got some in here, so we've got life that we can activate. So today is all about activating. Okay. So again, we're going to wet the soil. We're going to put down the product per plant needs. So that's why she has a large variety. Now, she did put in an investment on these fertilizing products initially, but what we're going to do is we're going to slowly build the organic matter that is in her garden to where she doesn't need to sub out with store-bought fertilizers. She's got a community, she's got some resources of getting some manure, she's got we're going to establish a compost pile and different things like that we have for in the future, but this is for fixing it now so that we can set ourselves up for success as we go along the season. So there's that's what we're going to do. Okay. Ready to start smelling, spreading stuff?
Let's do it. That rose there is the most beautiful color.
I'm so excited about this rose. This is a At Last David Austin rose. I'm so jealous that she has it here. I love it. Okay, so a couple of things with amending this rose right here. That's a Lenten rose.
It's a Lenten.
Sure is. Do you want it there or no?
No, I don't. I can come back and get him if you, oh, you got him.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try to save him, but I didn't save him. Okay. All right, so when you're applying granular fertilizer, okay, it tells you on the back. You can usually just follow the directions on the back, but a lot of times that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so the directions on the back of this bag says to apply monthly, which I'm not here for that. I'm not doing that. Okay.
But do I need to do it every month?
You do not need to do it every month. It's when I do granular fertilizer, I always try to get at the beginning of the year when they're breaking out of dormancy, and then in the fall, or if I see a issue. So this is the granular fertilizer that's going to be there for the it's the long-term vitamin that you take, right? But you're going to come throughout the season and regularly water things down with that fish fertilizer and that kelp, and that's going to also feed it. But you're doing it for the soil, but it's going to benefit from the fertilizer there too, because that's the early morning shot, right? That's the cup of coffee. So with doing the granular fertilizer, anytime you do a granular fertilizer, you want to go out to the drip line. Okay, so what is a drip line? Do you know what that is?
As far out as the limbs extend?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're going to go, and I take, it says a quarter cup, 1 1/4. I knew that was wrong. Also, this is not easy to read.
Yeah, I know.
But it's 1 1/4 cup, but really, I like to sprinkle it enough to where it looks like a perforated board. You know what I'm talking about? Like and where you hang up those little things.
Pegboard?
Pegboard, thank you. And so I'll sprinkle it out around until it looks like it's covered. And then I'll just gently swoosh it around into the soil. And then I say, "Dear Jesus, please grow big and strong." And that's it. So you're gonna come through and you're gonna water really well, and then it'll water in all of this fertilizer.
Okay.
So what the water is doing is activating the dehydrated material that's in here. So it is super important to drown these plants.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna go through, and that's the same application of any of these granular fertilizers. So I'm not gonna tell you directions for every single one that I'm putting out, but essentially you want to go to the drip line and you want to cover it enough to where you can see that the granulars are there, and then you want it to make soil contact, because again, we're trying to become in contact with the creation, right? And so every time you do, so if we sprinkle it and it's on top of leaves and such, it's not doing us any good. That's why we cleared out the debris. And so we're here to build the microbiome. Okay, and that's gonna help. This is gonna help the plant, obviously, but it's gonna build the microbiome. I'm gonna go ahead and put some down in like this.
Because we're so depleted.
Yeah. So that was about a good, if we're measuring that out, I used probably 2.5 cups just then.
Okay.
You know, and then next year when we test your soil, we'll continue to go forward, you know, with different things.
Do you recommend getting your soil tested every year?
In your case, with the fact that you had such a large gap in nutrients, yes, I would definitely suggest that. So right here, what I'm doing is I am showing my client how to water deeply and water well in this type of process. It is very important to make sure that your soil is saturated, but not overwatered in this whole process. So she's watering, and then I am applying the black cow compost. Also keep in mind, whenever you're applying compost from the store, it is sterile, so watering well is going to activate the microbes that are already in the existing soil to come in and get the nutrients from that soil. So that's super important. Also, we're going through here and we're putting the mulch down, which is what you see right here, and it is so pretty, and I'm so excited about what's happening in her garden. All right, guys, we are running out of sunlight, and so we finished up. Let me go over here and I'll show you what we did. So we cleaned out all this debris in the beds, and we went ahead and fertilized this part all the way up to that hydrangea back there. And then this is forsythia bushes. So all of this side is done. So we amended the soil and we put the mulch down. We fertilized it, you know, and then we watered it really well. And so I have to come back in 2 days, and we're going to finish the rest of this, which is this part. So we laid it all out. So I'll see you guys then. Hey friends, welcome back to Victory Gardens by Rain. This is the 2 days later from the previous footage that you saw here, and I am here at my friend Vicki's garden. And where I left you off at is we started here at this corner and went around. That's some Lenten rose, and then there's another Lenten rose behind this table. This is a hydrangea, and then we've got a couple of little plants in here. That's some yarrow right there, and then we stopped all the way up here at this grass right here. And so today we picked up and went behind here, and I'll give you a tour. I did some time lapse, but we got to yammering and I just didn't really focus on doing a lot of film during the work, but I can show you what we did. So So we went and some of this pruning on this butterfly bush was already done right here, but what we did is we cleaned out under it. We cut off all the old growth from last year. We've got a lot of new growth coming in right here, which is super pretty. And then these are forsythia bushes right here, and we've got a little bloom, look at it, coming in. And so we didn't really prune these very hard, but what I did here, let me get down here so I can show you. What we did is we cleaned out from under all of this. There was piles of leaves and different things from this being an established garden. This is an electricity cable that goes to, that used to be a pond right there. But anyway, so we just cleaned all this up. All of these roots that you see were exposed when we cleaned up. So I'm actually going to put some compost down and feed that for them. And then back here, we just kind of tidied up right here. We tidied up around the crepe myrtle trees. And then here I left, like you can see that it's not straight ground right here, but I wanted some of that organic matter to be incorporated into the soil. So anyway, this is all columbine little seedlings, we think. That's what Google said. So we're going to try to keep some of those, but I'm going to still go ahead and mulch all the way around here. So that there's that. Now she had some homework while I was gone, and she went ahead and pruned these drift roses right here. There's like some pink and yellow ones right here. So she did the pruning, and then we pruned this gardenia right here, this braided gardenia. And then the rest of it, we just kind of went through, which you saw some time lapse of that, but we went through and cleaned up the side of the bed. So it's all ready to be amended. So that's exciting. I'm excited for her. So I can't wait till it's done.
This is a tip for when you go and you buy mulch, but you can't really pick them up or do anything. You get your cart, you pull it out to where it falls by itself, and you hold it steady. And then you just let it fall.
Okay, so this is what it looks like after we're finished and have all the mulch on the front, and right over here is a view of the front, which is so pretty. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, and I hope that you guys have a blessed day.